Hello everybody, so welcome back to another installment of Sit Down Wednesday. So this week we have Owen joining us for Sit Down Wednesday and Marching Monday like you saw earlier in the week. So, like we always do, the Musicians List Arts auditions, that material could be sent out within the next week or the next month. It's very soon though, it's very soon, so you gotta go sign up so you can go get those pieces and get that audition stuff ready. So, we're going to do some coin flips since the piece we're doing today is Dmitri Shostakovich's Symphony No. 10, Movement 2 and 4. So we're all going to flip for which one we're going to judge. So Jaelyn, the ladies first, what would you like?
Okay, I want number 2 on tails.
Number 2 on tails, okay. Well, look, you got number 2. So you get number 2.
Go.
Once again, since this is our second time recording this, so Owen, what do you want now?
I'll take 2 on heads.
2 on heads. Tails, so you got 4. So Mitchell, what about you?
Let's go tails.
Tails 4.
2.
2, tails.
I'm taking a random guess here.
Tails for 2. You're on 4. So that means I'm on 2. So
This is rigged.
It's not rigged. When we record these podcasts with our faces, I will make sure I have like a camera that can record the coin flips. Just so you can't call me and say I'm rigged. Okay, so Dmitri Shostakovich's Symphony No. 10, Movement 2 and 4. Jaelyn and I will be doing Movement 2, and Mitchell and Owen will be doing Movement 4. So it will go me, Jaelyn, then Mitchell and Owen. We'll see you after we listen to, the piece. Okay, here we go. Oh, it started already. Dun, dun, dun. So, we played this in our show RP1 my sophomore year, so it's 2018. This is our part 2. I just love how the strings are just so fast with it, and we played it slower, but the strings are so intense, and I love the brass sound behind it. Dum, 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 dum. That right here. It's just a nice motif and it's repeated, but Shostakovich knew how to put those intense moments with even the simplest type of motif, just a bum 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 bum. It's very intense and it has some great sound to it. Now the trumpets, great. Just love it's a very repetitive movement, but it has some great brass parts. Now we're all triangular. Now it's different now. We didn't play this in the show, I'm pretty sure. But the strings are so clean and consistent with their passages. Lower strings with the percussion as well, building in the background, and then crescendo up and the brass take over again. Nice tone for this ensemble. I don't know exactly which ensemble it is, but nice. Now the brass just repeating. The trumpets have taken over the melody now, just the pushing melody with the melody of the motif underneath. Dum dum. do some great things with the percussion there too. I loved performing this piece. This is a really great piece to perform. There's just so much energy behind it, and a lot of our part 2 that year was a lot of Shostakovich pieces. A lot of Shostakovich pieces. Now we have the last closer. Trumpets with the strings. With the snare drum in the back. Nice. Always love just hearing that movement. It's a very energetic movement, and it's one of my favorite just symphonies to listen to. So I know personally when I think about this piece or symphony or movement, whatever people decide to call it, I get tricked up on my words with it sometimes, but it's a great but repetitive piece. It's very repetitive, but it's such a great melody that he uses, and he makes it intense, and he changes it up. He changes it up to like with the strings, and we played as woodwinds, obviously, but we had the strings in this particular version for the orchestra. They just keep going. Their passages just don't stop, and they're consistent, and it's clean, and it sounds great. So yeah, I'll hand it off to Jaelyn to see what she has to say about Movement 2.
Hi, this is Jaelyn listening to Shostakovich Symphony No. 10, Movement 2. Ooh. I like kind of dark themes, minors, stuff like this. So personally, this is really interesting. Wow. The music moves with such intent, like drive. You can feel how serious it is. Wow. That brass makes it almost sound like a little bit of a Star Wars tone. Maybe that's just me. Okay. I like the xylo in the back, the perfect amount, the perfect mallets for that. The build. Yes. Wow. With pieces like this, you can't even describe it because it's moving so fast. The timpani is really strong. I really like it. It underlays all of these parts and it makes it really full. It's chaotic, but in a good way. It's put together, but there's so much going on that it almost makes you feel chaotic. Wow. The flute work here is insane. Each part builds on top of each other and it works together really well. It's a good cymbal crash. Not too overpowering. It's so strong. I wonder how many people are playing each part because the band is so full. I'm not that experienced on commenting on brass. It's just not my world yet, but I really do like it. Timpani makes me so happy to hear a strong timpani. In my experience, whenever one of us, and someone in my high school at least, when we play timpani like this, it's not that strong. It's hard to come out of your shell playing it because you don't want to overpower the band, but this was perfect. It's a nice little break from the whole chaotic moment, but you could still hear it. It's like underneath, and it's really cool. Good snare drum here. Buzz roll works really well. Wow. That was a great moment for woodwinds and brass all together. The tone quality combining together, the balance, it was really beautiful, and the ensemble worked really well. The rhythmic precision, for one, was amazing. Like, the intonation, articulation, it was just a really great piece, movement to listen to.
Hello, everyone. So today we are doing Shostakovich, Symphony number 10, movement 4. Gavin already posted a link to a timestamp, and I will be following that. So without further ado, let's get this going. Very tense. Interesting runs from the woodwind and strings. This is just tension full. My gosh. And then drops to nothing. Then somewhat of a lyrical. Interesting. Then the low strings, seems like there's some little tension underlying lines there. Very big dynamic contrast from the beginning of this segment to now, up to this point. Very technical bassoon solo. That's something you don't see every day. They're a very prominent French horn. Again, this is just nothing but tension now again.
Wow. Very, very, very technical string sections as well as woodwinds. And they're all really, really well in time. Huh. Is it over? I think it is. Yeah, alright. Well, that was a really cool little piece there. That was, I see why Gavin really enjoys it. I think that's a really interesting piece that I would never be able to play, and it's a very technical piece just all around, but it's a very aggressive piece, and I kind of lean towards liking more of the aggressive pieces in both orchestral, marching, jazz, concert band. So I don't know. I've never heard this, but I'd be willing to listen to this symphony more in depth and listen to the entire one overall. So let's turn it back to the other host and see what they say.
I am Owen Kensky, and I will be judging Movement 4 of Symphony No. 10 by Shostakovich. Really bold textures with the brass, with those quick trills in the strings. Really aggressive, fast textures on the snare in all of the percussion section as a whole. Just a really aggressive section there, jumping right into it. A swelling section here in the strings, really expressionate phrasing there. Transferring that over to the low brass and then the reeds respectively. All of this backed by some quicker bowed rhythms in the contrabasses there. Interesting texture between just the snare drum providing rhythm and a solo on the bassoon. Passing that over, a lot of colors happening in the reeds. Really, back to that bold, strong texture in the brass. Yeah, a lot of really fast colors here. Yeah, there's a lot going on sound-wise and textures. A really good composition with so many layers to dig into. Just phenomenal amounts of sound, and quality of sound being produced by the musicians is phenomenal, as expected from a chamber-level group like this. Yeah, a little heavy on the crash cymbal there at the end. Real overpowering majority of the band, but that timbre quickly died away. Really energetic performance. There was a lot of intensity for everybody there. Yeah, that was just so many colors being able to overlap and interact between the sections. A really phenomenal performance put on by the musicians, and an even more fantastic arrangement by Shostakovich himself.
Okay, everybody, so welcome back from the tapes. So we're going to go over movement 2 first. So I've personally performed this piece on a marching field. We took the beginning and the end, and we put it into our part 2 of Ready Player One. And it wasn't as intense as that, because you have to admit, Jaelyn, it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
It might be a repetitive motif, just the da 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 da, but it's just it keeps
it's
going.
It's really chaotic.
Yeah, like the strings just na 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 na. It's just going crazy. It's nuts. It's like just a non-stop energy going on with like mysteriousness, tension, like death, like everything's going on in this. So I want to just see if you have any like views or things that stuck out to you while you were listening.
The timpani part was amazing. I was so excited. I was like giggling on the judge tape because like the timpani would have these big parts, and I loved it so much because it's really hard to pull off timpani like that. It can be, in my experience, because on timpani, as a percussionist, you're not really prepared on that instrument as much, so you can be pretty shy. But they pulled it off, and they were really strong, and it added so much fullness to the piece, and I really liked it.
Nice. I said the percussion just adds such a great blend to the back of it. Just they keep it pushing, and like the snare drum at I think it was like 3 minutes in, just kept going, and it was just consistently pushing the ensemble. I think just what stuck out to me the most was probably just that overall tension with the brass when the woodwinds were, or not the woodwinds. Woodwinds to me when we played it, but the strings in this version just on top doing their runs, and then just the brass underneath it being powerful. So we'll hand it off to the Movement 4 boys, so they can talk about how they thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time listening to the piece, and I was completely overwhelmed with just the sheer like sound that was just going on. It was just immense. Like, it was so much to take in, especially as first impressions.
Yeah, I completely agree. It was a lot of things were going on. It was nothing but tension, and I personally like pieces that have a lot of tension in it. Mm-hmm. It was just also aggressive too, and I enjoy that. I enjoy listening to that. There's just so much going on that it was hard to really focus on one thing. Yeah, like for a little bit I focused on the percussion and how the snare drum was layering in over top of the piece. When the snare had those like just really aggressive like 16th note patterns over the rest of the band, and I was focusing on the percussion, and I just completely lost track of what the winds were doing. And then suddenly everything just got quiet, and there was a bassoon solo. And I was like, whoa. Yeah, you don't see one of those every day. Oh, yeah. And, I mean, that's the first time I've really heard a bassoon, like, at all. I've played in orchestras with them before, but you never really can hear them because they're so hidden. So being able, composition-wise, being able to hear the bassoon and have that texture be brought out, that was really interesting. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and then from that solo, you have kind of a fast rhythm going in that solo, but then you start passing it off to the other bassoon, and a clarinet joins in, the other reeds join in, and then it just all swells up to this big French horn moment. Yeah. And, I really enjoyed the layering of parts of it, and that leaving that solo and entering the rest of the ensemble. Same. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, in the recording that we were given, at the end of the piece, the crash cymbal kind of overpowered the band a little too much. Yeah, I can see that. I think that was just, that might have just been the recording. Right. Because cymbals pierce through in terms of sound, so recording devices pick those up a lot more than other things in the band. But yeah, I mean, fantastic piece.
fantastic performance of it too. Just the energy that you could see, and like you could see how frantically they were moving, but also with control. And I think being able to see that in a performer is one of the best things.
Yeah,
I agree. Like that I've listened to that movement obviously before, and it's a very crazy movement to like take in for your first time. I remember when I first listened to it, I was like, "Oh man, well, what am I supposed to be listening to here?" And then I just sort of sat back and enjoyed it. Just sort of dealt with what was handed to me. But it's what you got to do. So, does anyone else want to add anything?
No, I mean, I really enjoyed the movement. I'm probably, after this is done, I'm probably going to go listen to to some of the other movements, if not the whole symphony.
Same.
I would say that it's a very great thing to just take all in, and I guess we'll call it a podcast. So this next week, it's a piece called A Musical Joke, and it's literally, and you like theory, right? You like theory, right?
Oh, I love theory.
Oh, well, this abandons all rules of theory, and it was made on April Fool's. And it's just the last measure of the
That's
whole
so cool.
the whole song. The last measure is 5 different keys for 5 different instruments. So
That's awesome.
it's gonna be hilarious, and I think it's gonna bust some of our bubbles, because if you guys know horn playing at all, but horns back in the day used to be played with corks, and it wasn't all one instrument with valves. So we would take out something and put it in, and then it would change the key of the horn. There's a part that the horns play wrong notes, and it's dee 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 dee, and it's on top of the strings, and it sounds like you're gonna get really awkward. So yeah, that's gonna be next Wednesday, and Owen won't be here for that one. No, I'm gonna have to send him that. I'm gonna, because they switch every week. I'm gonna have to send that to him. It's such a
Shame.
funny piece, but yeah. So we'll call it a day, and catch us tomorrow with Isaac for Show Choir Thursday.